Welcome back again, and today we will discuss pronouns. Pronouns are words that take place of a noun. There are 100 pronouns in the English language, and of the 25 most used words in the English language, 10 are pronouns. The most common pronouns are I, you, we, he, she, it, they, us, me, them. Pronouns are broken down into different categories. First person singular, I, example. I am going to the store. Second person singular, you. Example. You are walking to school tomorrow. Third person singular, he, she, /it. Example. She is a happy person. First person plural, we. Example. We are very happy. Second person plural, you. Example. You are happy with yourself? Third person plural. They are going to the store. Using pronouns make it much easier to write and more interesting to read or listen to. Who would want to listen to the following paragraph? Today, Marissa walked to the store. The store was nice. When Marissa went into the store, Marissa found out that Marissa had no money. So Marissa left the store, and Marissa then walked to Marissa's home to get money. After Marissa got Marissa's money, Marissa went back to the store and bought some items. As you can tell, the previous sentences were boring and repetitive. By using pronouns we can make it shorter and easier to read. It should read something like this. Today Marissa walked to the store. It was nice, and as she walked into it, she discovered that she had no money. So she walked home to get some. When she arrived back at the store, she bought her items. Before using any pronouns you must know what the subject is. If you are not sure, then use the noun. In this case, we knew Marissa was a person. Since there was only one person, we would have to know if it was a man or woman. Once we know that, we can add the word he or she. The store we know cannot be a man or woman, so we would have to use the word it. Most non-native English teachers would have a problem stating a sentence with the past perfect continuous in the third person singular. The reason is, most native English teachers only know the rules by speaking, but not by learning the terms. This becomes a major obstacle when a person begins teaching for the first time. The answer: she has been walking. When you talk about yourself or talking to someone else, you should always use the word you or I. I went to the store. Would you like to come over to my house for dinner? You should never state your own name, in the third person or using the person's name you are talking to. Keith went to the store. Keith talking about himself. Would Grace like to come over to Keith's house for dinner? Asking Grace over for dinner. If you do speak in the third person, some people might be confused as to whom you are talking about at best, or they may think you are a little crazy. Subjective/objective pronouns. When you use pronouns in a sentence you must know which one to use depending on if it's a subject or an object. If you are talking about yourself, you must use the word I. I am going to the store. You would use the pronoun I because you are talking about yourself in the first person as the subject of the sentence. This is a subjective pronoun. However, if you were to use a pronoun as the object of the sentence you must use the objective pronoun, in this case the word me. That's me. In the previous sentence, the word that's becomes the subject and me becomes the object. Possessive pronouns. Possessive pronouns show that the person owns something or is owned by something. These can be used without a noun. Examples of possessive pronouns are mine, yours, ours, his, hers, theirs. Example. My car could be written as the car is mine. It's ours. That's theirs. That is not Alex's coat. Hers is red. You can use pronouns as adjectives. Many times you need to use the possessive adjective with the word own. Anastasia has her own job now. She doesn't mooch off her father. You can use the word of with a pronoun. Sophia is an ex-girlfriend of mine. Udam is a friend of hers. Reflexive and emphatic pronouns. Reflexive and emphatic pronouns are the pronouns that show who did what. In other words, the object and subject of the sentence are one and the same. Reflexive pronouns can either be direct objects or indirect objects. Some of the pronouns include myself, ourselves, themselves, herself, himself, and itself. A rule of thumb to remember is that they should never be used as a subject. You cannot say, myself gave him a pencil. Instead, you should write, I gave him a pencil. An example of a reflexive pronoun as an indirect object would be, I bought myself a jacket. In this case, myself would be an indirect object because you bought a coat. You are explaining that you bought a coat for yourself and not anyone else. The jacket would be the direct object as it is the item you bought. A direct object would be, I hurt myself. An emphatic pronoun is used to emphasize something that was done by the subject. It is being used to emphasize who or what did the action. Examples would be, I did it myself. She cleaned the room by herself. We wrote the report by ourselves. In the previous examples, the speaker wanted to emphasize who did what and that no one else helped them. One problem you may face is students making the mistake with each other and ourselves. The simple explanation is that when you do something with someone, you can say ourselves. We did it by ourselves. We did it together. However, if you do something to someone and they do something back, you can say each other. We met each other in the park. I met him and he met me. We saw each other in the hallway. I saw her and she saw me. Think of it as looking in a mirror. When you see yourself and someone else, it's ourselves. When you cannot see yourself and the action is to the other person, it's each other. We saw ourselves in the mirror. We saw each other at the mirror. Relative pronouns. Relative pronouns are pronouns such as who, whom, which, and that. They introduce clauses that describe or tell more about a nouns or pronouns. These clauses are known as relative clauses. Interrogative pronouns. Interrogative pronouns are pronouns that usually go at the beginning of a question. These would be words such as who, whom, which, what. Examples of these in a sentence would be, who wants to go to the park? Whom does this book belong to? Which shirt do you like? What time does the train leave? Even though they normally go before the beginning of a sentence, they can be used within a sentence to ask a question. My boss wanted to know who wanted to work overtime. Ashley wanted to know what time Allison would be back. Alex wanted to know for whom the bell tolls. Sambo didn't know which teacher she liked the best. List of pronouns. Number. Person. Subjective. Objective. Possessive. Reflexive. Relative. Singular first. I, me. Mine. Myself. My. Second. You. You. Yours. Yourself. Third. He, she, it. Him, her, it. His, hers. Him, her, itself. Plural first. We. Us. Ours. Ourselves. Second. You. You. Yours. Yourselves. Third. They. Them. Their. Themselves. Relative who. Whoever. Whom. Whomever. Well, that is all the time we have for today. Thank you for joining, and I hope to see you next time.